It's 1998, and a startup that just changed its name from Backrub to Google operates from the garage of Susan Wojcicki. They had tried to sell this business to Yahoo for $1 million just a few months before this, but Yahoo turned them down because no one seemed to understand how Google was going to make money from providing search results. So, operating from a garage was a desperate attempt to stay afloat.
Yeah, Google worldwide headquarters right here, full staffs. Because originally there were only 3 people at the company. 20 years, a lot can happen in 20 years.
But 25 years later, and after numerous twists and turns, Google is now worth $1.6 trillion and commands 8.5 billion search queries a day, controlling 92% of all internet traffic. And this is the story of how Google became the internet.
We say the internet gathered up all the world's information and gave us access to it. Google gathered up all the world's information and gave us access to it.
August 1996. With the dawn of the internet, 2 PhD students in Stanford University have a genius idea for a platform they named Backrub. You see, search engines at the time were a mess, and both Page and Brain were from academic homes. So they understood the importance of citations to research papers and how papers are usually referenced to other relevant papers. And they created PageRank based on this notion.
You want to look for pages that other people think are valuable.
An algorithm that can estimate the importance of the website based on its incoming links.
I write a paper. Other people who think it's a good paper put a footnote in their paper pointing to my paper.
So Backrub was a search engine with PageRank as its backbone. This wasn't a good enough name, and they came up with Googleplex. They eventually settled on the name Google from the word Google, intentionally misspelled. A mathematical term for the number represented by 1 numeral followed by 100 zeros. Sounded better and also represented their vision, which was to organize infinite amounts of information across the web. But even if their offering was unlike anything that was presented by any platform at the time, they were broke because they didn't seem to understand how to make money from this product. Their traffic increased significantly to the point where they were pushed out of the university IT building which used to house them at the time, to the garage of Susan Wojcicki, Brain's sister-in-law, because the university servers were getting swamped. It was also at this time that they decided to call it quits and continue their academic pursuits at Stanford University. So they offered to sell their startup to Yahoo for $1 million, but Yahoo said no. And this would prove to be a fatal mistake for Yahoo and the most important event in Google's history. Because Google would go on to be worth over $500 billion in 2016, and in that same year, Yahoo will be selling all their internet assets for $4 billion. Pundits were already suggesting that before the turn of the millennium, Yahoo would take over the world. And Yahoo refused to buy Google for 2 major reasons. Reason 1, Google had not built a viable monetization system. And secondly, Yahoo were already major players in the information web space, and the premise of Yahoo's system is to keep people on their website as long as possible. But Google will redirect you to the most relevant website for a search query, and Yahoo didn't quite like that. Just 5 years later, Google turned down an offer from Yahoo to buy their rapidly growing startup for $3 billion. What happened in those 5 years, and why did Yahoo and Google have a change of heart in totally different directions? That takes us back to September 4th, 1998. After moving to their sister-in-law's garage and after being turned down by Yahoo, Larry and Page turned to their faculty advisor, David Cheriton, for help on how to fund their ambitious startup.
Larry and Sergey had come to me after they decided to start a company based on their search engine.
David recommended them to Andy Bechtolsheim, the founder of Sun Microsystems, who had a meeting with these 2 young men on the front of his porch and was instantly sold on the idea. He wrote them a check for $100,000, which was 2 times the price the pair asked for. Google wasn't even officially a business. These 2 inexperienced university students had learned something from their meeting with Yahoo, and now had a plan on how to effectively monetize their platform. In one word, ads. And Andy absolutely loved it. And with that money in hand, Google officially registered their garage headquarters. Google Inc. was born. 5 months later, and Google left its garage headquarters for 165 University Avenue, the same building that housed tech giants like PayPal and Logitech, which was only testament to the fact that this company was growing at breakneck speeds, both technologically and financially. It was also at this time that Google adopted its unofficial corporate philosophy, don't be evil. And that's funny because at the end of this story, some of you would actually call Google evil. Hit the like and subscribe button if you've watched this far. I'm itching to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's June 1999, and the startup that tried to sell for $1 million the year prior successfully raised a $25 million venture capital investment from Sequoia Capital and Clarina Perkins. And what happens next will change the internet landscape forever. Up until now, Google had only improved their search capabilities. But in October 2000, Google unveiled AdWords as an experiment. They were just about to become the world's largest online advertising company, controlling 30% of the world's digital ad spend. Google did not become as influential as they are today by just providing search results. They created an ecosystem of digital products no one can live without. And they usually did this by, buying out the competition. April 2003, Google acquired AdSense from Applied Semantics, gaining the technology to improve its pre-existing contextual ad program. April 2004, they introduced Gmail and would lead to the development of all the products and services that we would know as Google Suite today. In the same year, Google acquired Keyhole and a basic C++ map from two Danish brothers, which they eventually developed into Google Earth and Google Maps respectively. July 2005, and Google quietly acquired Android Inc. for $50 million. Almost every Android phone was Google branded. And in January 2006, one of their most successful acquisitions today is Google buys YouTube for $1.6 billion. They learned something from Yahoo, I see. The thing is, Google had made a half-hearted attempt to get into the video sharing space with its Google Videos app, but then there were already major players in this space, e.g. YouTube. So Google just bought out the competition. Slowly, Google was assembling a foray of digital apps that would make them immortal. But there was a flaw. A major amount of Google cost was being paid to third-party browsers to keep them as a default search engine. To combat this, their founder employed several Mozilla Firefox developers to build a browser owned by Google. And Google Chrome was officially launched in September 2008. If you can't build it, buy it. And until today, Google has acquired over 250 products and services, spending over $100 billion in the process. Actually comes at a cost. For every letter in the English alphabet, Google has put an end to a product starting with that alphabet in its lineup. As of 2019, Google had killed 16 apps, 151 services, and 13 hardware projects so far. They are notorious for taking unbelievable risks, something they must have learned from Yahoo. For example, when Google acquired YouTube, the platform was an absolute mess. YouTube had users uploading copyrighted content, which made it a lawsuit magnet. Google, however, skillfully turned this around by negotiating contracts with content owners and introducing effective takedown policies. And as a result, YouTube thrived and now earns billions every year. Google prides itself on its approach towards failure, which is to take it and learn from them, and it's worked wonders for them. So on its 25th anniversary, it's good to know that the Google we know of today is a culmination of all the apps they've either bought or built over the years, and Google has become synonymous with the word internet. In 2011, Larry and Page were no longer content with one single company, Google, managing all of their different services. So they decided to rename Google to Alphabet, a holding company that includes Google and a bunch of other companies. Page and Brin became the CEO and president of Alphabet respectively, and they appointed senior vice president Sundar Pichai as the CEO of Google. This allowed them to pursue the development of newer technology and innovations like they used to before they were burdened with running the business of Google. And 25 years from the birth of that genius idea that was just a PhD project, a dying seed can become a forest, and even your wildest dreams can become reality. See you on the next one.